Hey everybody, Marshall Apologist here, otherwise known as Daniel. My video today is going to be a little controversial. I hope I don't make controversial points. I'm good chance I'm going to offend somebody, but that's not really my problem. Um, Basically, and I didn't really want to make this video. I didn't really want to make any Facebook posts or Google Plus posts. I didn't really want to talk about this. For a couple of different reasons. For one, because I've got a lot of people in social media um, sites and so forth that feel very strongly in a particular way about this, which I think is kind of nonsensical. But I do care about them, and I care about their opinions. They're just continually offending me, and I don't think they mean to, but it's not okay. It's got to stop. Um, And I'm not the only person that is offended, I'm sure. I'm probably one of the more vocal people about it. But regardless, there was and has been, in the last couple of years, but really hard in the last couple of weeks. Ever since Wax's post, whose name I don't care about and won't mention and won't link to, because I don't think he deserves particular attention, went around and shot like 6 people or whatever, and then blamed his crazy rampage on not getting sex with women for some freaking reason. I don't follow his logic. I read the manifesto in pieces, and it was really repetitious. It didn't make any sense. It was hard to follow. He was crazy. I don't have any other thing to say about that guy. But since then, there have been a lot, and I mean a lot, of people posting videos, writing blogs, and doing all manner of other things. But Facebook posts, liking posts, infographics, all sorts of stuff concerning women's safety, gender issues, misogyny, and in particular, rape culture. And rape culture especially is a phrase that annoys me to no unearthly end. Mostly because I don't think it exists. I've been given statistics that prove a lot of things. None of them prove rape culture is real. And that's the other reason I didn't want to make this video, is because some son of a gun is going to watch this and give rape apologist. My finger's all huge because my camera's not very far away. No, I'm not. Rape, I'm going to say rape, because we can go back and forth on the definition of what constitutes rape quite a bit. And I don't want to do that. What I will do is I will say any unwanted sexual contact between any two people, man and woman, woman and woman, man and man, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who instigates it, doesn't matter who receives it, is wrong. It's immoral. It's all wrong. It's all immoral. A good portion of it is illegal and ought to be. What isn't illegal is usually at least against company policy if you do it at work. A very large share of it can and or at least should get you a very stern talking to from anybody at a church or your friends or whatever. And I think most of the time any of that does. That's why I don't think rape culture exists. But we'll get to that in a second. So no, I'm not a rape apologist. I have a mom. I have a wife. I don't want them to be raped. I don't want to make excuse. Somebody does that, I forget I'm a Christian so quick. Somebody tries to do something like that to them, do you hear how southern I just got? Because when I get mad, I get really southern. So no, no, no. Someone tries to harm them in that way, they are going to have a very, very bad rest of their life, which will be about a day and a half probably. It's not going to go well. It's No, I'm not unsympathetic to women in any shape, form, or fashion. And the guy that was clearly a misogynist and freaking nuts in a variety of levels that killed people obviously was one. But this has sparked a lot of weird conversations. And sure, is sexism a problem? Clearly. Is misogyny a problem? Yes. Um, Are women treated fairly in the workplace and paid as much for the same work as men? Yes, but that's a whole other issue. That gets into statistical analysis and various studies that I could link to in videos and other things like that that show there's only like a 2% difference in actuality in ways that matter. That's neither here nor there. Is there an attitude among men of entitlement culture? No. No. Some men absolutely feel entitled to a woman's body. Some women feel entitled to a man's body and other women's bodies, and some men likewise with other men's bodies. That's not culture. See, what would happen is, and TJ the Amazing Atheist actually made a video, and we would disagree on dang near everything on the earth. And he had a really good point on this, and I actually linked his video on Facebook. I'm not going to do it here because that gets weird and kind of pandering like. But he had occasionally he has even what I, as someone who disagrees with him about everything, find good points. Not the least of which is we actually in the media treat rape worse than murder. Seriously, think about that. RoboCop, a lot of murder. I don't remember any sympathetic rape. X-Men, the new X-Men movies. There's a lot of killing going on in that movie. A lot of it by sympathetic characters that you're supposed to care about. No one raped anybody. But if they had, that would have been just the most ridiculous thing ever. Virtually never happens in media where a rapist is portrayed as being okay. He's a horrible villain at that point, even if he wasn't otherwise. Now, sometimes the horrible villain is someone who's just so horrible that if you possibly misguided people are cheering for him anyway, they're not cheering for the rape necessarily that he may or may not have had a scene of in the movie. They're cheering for the fact that he is just really good at being really bad all around. There aren't a whole lot of movies like that. I would imagine probably a category that would be like No Country for Old Men or some such would probably pretty well qualify. A couple of Clint Eastwood movies probably would too, come to think of it. A couple of John Wayne movies, depending on what one you're looking at. But no, we treat it actually worse than killing most of the time. And look up any video ever of people's reactions to a man assaulting a woman in public on any level at all, and you'll find immediate responses of people decrying that behavior, and then turn it around and you'll get just exactly nothing like the same. You'll get the man being laughed at because apparently it's okay to treat men that way. Which gets me to my main point here. Is there racism? Yes. Is there sexism? Yes. Is there bigotry all around? Yes. Not all of it is directed towards women, black people, Hispanics, and so forth. I'm a white dude, apparently 16th Cherokee. I don't know if that's even supposed to matter. But let me tell you, there's been a lot of bigotry leveled at me for no reason other than being a white man. I read on Facebook, I kid you not, an article today that said that I am part of the rape culture for no reason other than the fact that I am male. Bigot. Weirdly enough, it was written by a guy, so apparently a guy can be bigoted against other men. And the whole thing is supposed to apparently be that I'm part of it. I'm not necessarily guilty of it. He's just associating me with it because Apparently, women run around in the world on a regular basis being afraid of men because we might assault, accost, rape, or otherwise harm them. And we just need to be sensitive to that. Let me turn that around. Black people need to understand that, white people are just afraid of them. For whatever reason, they're not all bad. It's just enough of them are bad and commit crimes and whatnot and are on the drugs that, the rest of the white people just don't feel comfortable around them. And or Middle Easterners, that the guy over there looks kind of like he might be a Muslim, and I'm not saying all the terrorists, I'm not saying all Muslims are terrorists, but enough of them are that maybe I need to be suspicious of this guy. He might have a bomb on him. Oh, it doesn't work that way. Right, that's because bigotry is always bad, and it doesn't matter who it's against. It's exactly as bad and exactly as wrong to be afraid of a man just because he's a man, ladies, possibly other men, hermaphrodites, I don't know, as it is to be afraid of a black guy, or a Muslim, or a Jew, or a Native American, or a Chinese person. I don't know anybody that's afraid of them, but that's not the point. As it is, all those guys. It's just as bad to be afraid of a man for that as it is for them just because they're that. It's exactly the same. It's sexist. And it's offensive. And it pisses me off. And the next person that... Sorry, forgot I was a Christian there for a second. Can't express those emotions in that kind of fashion. Knock it off, please. I beg you. Okay? You want to decry rapists? Real rapists? You want to decry human trafficking? You want to slap a guy upside the head because he pinched a woman's butt on the subway? Go for it. Okay? It's awesome. You should do that. Don't treat me, specifically men in general, but in particular me, as if we might probably perhaps maybe be guilty of rape, or misogyny, or racism, or whatever, just because we're men, just because we're white, just because we're anything else. It is not more okay to treat me poorly for things that I can't control than it is for me to treat you poorly for things you can't control. We want to make jokes? I can take a joke. Don't make serious accusations. It's offensive and it's demeaning to me, and it makes you a bad person. I don't really have anything to add to that.